No. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
So let me see.
Can you hear me
Hello.
okay? Hi, Scarborough. Okay. Wonderful. Much better? Not just the top of your head? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So Scarborough, that must be Elizabeth? Angelique. Angelique.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and then is it Diane?
Yes.
Which one's Diane? Put your hand up. All right, Diane. Hello. And
Still there until night. Okay. Thank you, Terry. Hello.
Okay, so Diane, Angelique, we've got a few others that will be joining us, so just give me just a few minutes, okay? We'll get everyone together. All right.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi there. Nobody's here yet for the class, but I heard the music going, so I answered it.
Go see Mama. Go see Mama.
They should be along in about 20 minutes.
Can anybody hear me?
Okay, so
Yes, I can
I
hear
have
you.
Scarborough, I have
Okay.
Diane, and who else joined us?
I'm Elizabeth Marshall. I can't see myself anywhere on the screen though.
Elizabeth, I think, didn't you tell me you didn't have you didn't have video?
I have video.
Okay,
I have
so
video.
there might be
My
some,
webcam shows that it's recording, but I can't see myself.
well, the recording is happening through Network Main, so you're going to see that, but somewhere your camera's not on. So the first few classes, we're always getting things sorted out. All right, and Diane, did you go into school or are you at your house?
I'm at home.
Okay. Could I have your niece or your daughter in a class? Megan?
You daughter. Yes.
Okay. And then Liz, you're on, you said.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm trying to
And
fumble with my settings to see if I can get the video on, but no luck so far.
Okay. Well, at least you can hear and you can see me. So
Yeah.
you'll have time to play with it between next class just to get your video working. So, not a huge deal unless it really bothers you. But
Okay.
you're from home?
Yes, I am.
Okay. The middle of October already, ladies. Can you believe it? Crazy, crazy, crazy. All right. And then Wyndham. And Jackie. Has anyone seen Jackie join us? No, okay.
When I do, she
All right. What you missing, Diane?
I was looking to shut me off, my background noise off.
Let me see here. I think. If you take your mouse and you put it over the video, over the picture, a little bar should come up, and it should give you like self-view, camera, microphone, and then you should be able to click on the microphone to turn it off.
Yep, you're right.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. As you have all read, I've introduced myself through email. I am Doreen Bovin. I am your CMA instructor, and so you are mine for the next 16 weeks. And I'm excited about this class because we have some new books this session. The electronic health record is a SIM chart for the medical office. What does that mean? That means that it is a simulation of what it would be like to use in an office. You all should have received in your email the course syllabus, and we may vary from it a little bit. I don't usually vary a lot. If you haven't read it, I please ask you to go back and do so. The biggest thing is about getting around Evolve. So for those of you who may not be computer savvy, if you want, I would be happy to spend time going over it with you over the phone, doing a remote session and logging in with you and showing you, hey, this is where you go, this is what you're going to find. Just so you're aware of what is on Evolve for you under the KINS. You do not have it on your Evolve yet. After tonight's class, actually that's what I was doing while I was waiting for the phone call, was I was starting to add your names to the roster so that you would have the KINS course on Evolve for you. Now you only have 3 books, and you should have the KINS textbook. It is the 8th edition. Your icon on Evolve looks exactly like the book. So this is your study guide. And then you have the electronic health record physician's office SIM chart. This is going to get set aside for a couple of weeks. We really are not going to get into this for at least 8 to 10 weeks. Just because it's a short book, it's only 8 chapters, and this really is a hands-on type of course. I like to be able to do this all together, and so if you can't do it during class, it's going to be something that you'll do after class. We should be able to be on the computer and doing the exercises while we are having class, because just because we're having a video conference doesn't mean you can't use your computer. It just means that you're going to minimize the video chat so that you can open up Evolve and get onto Evolve. That's all that means. Give me a moment here. Amy's trying to reach me. That usually means someone can't get connected. Okay, so yes, we have people in Wyndham who aren't able to get connected right now. So I'm not going to go too far into this. It is being recorded, so people will be able to, listen to this afterwards and get what we're talking about. I'm going to take just a second and go ahead and add the rest of you on this roster for Evolve. While I'm doing that, Diane, if you want to unmute, okay, and just tell us a little bit about yourself and why you've chosen this career path.
I recently got laid off from a 20-year job, and so I decided I needed to go to school and learn something different than what I was doing. So I chose
what
this
were you doing?
because I was a supervisor in a warehouse.
Okay. What
And I
did you
chose
like
this,
about that?
the supervising part. I really like that. I like having to know what's going on and what needed to be done and schedule things and help people out and getting things done that needed to be done. And
So then you're going to see as we go through this course how much of your warehouse duties and abilities kind of roll over into what we're going to be learning. All right. So Liz, tell us a little bit about yourself and why you chose this path and what did you do before or what are you doing now?
Um, well, right now I just work in fast food, but I've always wanted to go back to school, so I'm finally trying to do it. And I've always had an interest in the medical field. I did take a year of nursing school right out of high school. I just never finished.
Okay. And so where can we come and enjoy the great food that you serve?
I work at Dunkin' Donuts.
That's my favorite place. A coffee before class every week so I can make it through class. I'm an early morning person, so by the time class rolls around, if I don't have some extra caffeine, I'll be yawning on the whole time. So,
Yeah.
okay. How about you, Angelique? Tell us a little bit about you and why you chose this career path. And
Yeah,
what are
just
you
call me
doing
Ange.
now?
Yeah, just call me Ange.
Okay.
Um, I graduated a bachelor's degree in biology in the Philippines, and I just arrived. I mean, arrived in the U.S. last year. Um, and then I just had a baby, so and I want.
Congratulations.
I mean, he already turned 1 last month, so I think this is the time that I'm gonna go back to school. You know, I need a certification here in the U.S. Just to to look. I mean, if I'm gonna look for a job, then it's much better to have a certificate or something like that.
Okay.
And yeah,
So you're a
so
stay-at-home mom right now?
right now I'm a stay-at-home mom. We had a little, yeah, my husband has a full-time job, and we have also a small business like a photography business and decorating business. So we are busy every weekends, but still in my heart, I love to, go study, especially in the medical field, because I just really love, just really love
Okay.
it.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
All right. So then um, we're still waiting for Wyndham to join us, but I'll go ahead and tell you a little bit about myself. I have been in the healthcare industry now for over 20 years. I know I don't look it. um, I have been in my particular business over 15 years. I own my own business, so I am a practice consultant. That means that I go into offices and I train and teach their staff for whatever the office hires me to come in and do. So not only do I train on medical assisting type of stuff, but I go in for coding and billing, which is the other course that I also teach, as well as training on front desk, which is part of CMA stuff. Learning how to do electronic health records, which is, as you all know, an up and coming and growing field right now. And not only is medical assistant growing, but the clinical side is also growing. So you might get into the medical administrative side and decide, hey, I really want to do clinical. And that will be fine too. So I've been doing what I do, and I love what I do. I love going into the different offices. I actually specialize in chiropractic, but I've also been out there in podiatry and OBGYN and naturopaths and physical therapy and massage, helping those different fields grow their businesses, train their staff, look at their accounts receivable, where can they tighten things up. So a whole host of things, and that's why I love to teach what I do. You all received my contact information. So I'm going to give you my cell phone number, and I will include it in an email so that you all have it. Because right before class, it's going to be easier to catch me on my cell phone. And I do have texting, so if you want to just text me real quick, you can do that also. My cell phone number is 207 651 0070. Again, that's 207 651 0070. Okay. All right, so, oh, Mount Ararat. So someone is at Mount Ararat. We just don't have the student there. Who is that? Actually, that probably might have been you, Diane. No, Jackie. Jackie Brewer's supposed to be there. Okay. As I said, the first few weeks is when we get all of the kinks worked out. So you'll see me actually texting back and forth with Amy because she's on the phone with Network Maine right now, trying to make sure the other students are getting connected so it doesn't take me away from you. But we're supposed to have Wyndham and Mount Ararat's on. So Wyndham we're waiting for. Oh, and Gardner. Okay. So we can't get two sites connected. All right, so I showed you the books. I gave you my cell phone number. I told you a little bit about me. I told you that in your welcome email, you received your course syllabus, and it talked to you about getting around Evolve. As I said, I'm happy to do a one-on-one with any one of you or all of you. We can set aside time to do that if you need help. Now, Diane, you already have access, correct? You already have access to Evolve, right? Okay.
Yes, I do.
All right, so I'm just going to finish adding these few people. I did assign the first two chapters, but if you didn't get to them, that's fine because tonight really is about introduction. I am going to go over these chapters anyway.
Oh my goodness, it worked.
Okay, Gardner. Hello, Gardner. Gardner is Brittany, right?
Yep. Okay,
Hi,
thank
Brittany.
you. Hi.
I just can't see you.
You can't see me?
I can't see you.
Yeah, we couldn't last night either. Can you see me now?
No.
We had that same trouble last night.
Okay. Well, you know what? As long as you can hear me right now, that's really more important than seeing you. Although I'm
Okay.
sure you have a very beautiful face, right now, hearing me is more important.
Good.
We'll have Gardner work on the video for next time. All right. So as I was telling everyone, Brittany, the first few weeks are really trying to get the kinks worked out. We are going to go over the first two chapters, and if you don't have the book, because I know you were one of the last registrations, don't worry about it because the books will be arriving shortly. But I will be reviewing that stuff tonight, and you can just take some notes. And
Okay.
everyone else has kind of introduced themselves and told us a little bit about why they chose this path. And what are they doing now, or what have they done? So tell us a little bit about you, Brittany.
I am 26. I live in Rockland. I have 2 kids. One is 8. She's a girl, and then I have a 2-year-old son. I currently, right now, am a CNA on a dementia unit, and I've been doing that at the facility that I'm at right now for about a year and a half, and I just kind of wanted to stay in the medical field, but kind of branch out a little bit.
Great.
Yeah.
So we have Diane, and we have Ange, and Liz, and Brittany. Am I forgetting anybody? Jackie and Lisa and Micheline. Okay. All right, so this is recorded, Brittany, so when the recording is done, what I'll do is I'll send you the link and you can listen to the first 15 minutes if you want. It tells you a little bit about each one of us and myself. And we have Wyndham. Hello, Wyndham. Hi, Wyndham.
Hi, I'm here. Good. How are you?
Okay. So, Wyndham, do we have Lisa and Micheline?
I'm Micheline Wyndham.
Okay. You should have a Lisa with you. Is there a Lisa with you?
Nope.
Okay. So. All right, so Micheline, I am Doreen.
Hi.
We have Diane with us, and we have Ange, and we have Liz, and we have Brittany. So everyone has introduced themselves. This is being recorded, so when it's done, I can send you the link, and you can listen to the first 20 minutes so you can hear a little bit about everybody. What
Okay.
I've asked everyone to do is just tell us what has brought you to this career path, and what are you doing now, or what have you done?
I've always been interested in the medical field, but never followed through with a passion for it. And my son is now grown on his own, and I'm taking charge of my life and putting my ducks in a row so that I can benefit myself. I'm currently an assistant manager for a convenience store and desperately want to better myself. So I'm looking forward to this.
Okay, great. All right, so Diane, Magdalene, and Liz, Brittany. She couldn't make it. All right.
Well, yes, they were not.
All right, so Jackie,
Yes,
is
ma'am.
that you?
I'm trying to turn the volume up. Isn't that weird? No billing history. But we've got the billing history with the both old. There you go, ma'am.
How you doing, Jackie?
Very good, ma'am. And you?
Very good, thank you. Can you see everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now that you've arrived, go ahead and get settled. And I'm going to ask you to come a little closer so we can hear you, and then you can go back there. So what I've asked everyone to do tonight is go ahead and tell us a little bit about why you've chosen this career path, and what are you doing or what have you done for jobs, career?
I've done a lot of things, from anywhere from construction to working in a factory. I try anything once, maybe twice if I like it. kind of thing. Right now, I'm working for Bonnie Staffing as a temp agent, and I'm working
Great.
for FHC in Bowdoin.
Nice.
And I chose this. I was either going to do the pharmaceutical tech, but with the pharmaceutical tech, that's all you can be. Having this, you can go into electronic records. You can go into medical coding. There's just more of an avenue to try different things with the CMAA than it was for pharmaceutical tech.
Great.
Are you in the class too,
Yeah.
ma'am?
No.
Oh.
I thought this guy was.
I don't know.
What is it?
There was some lady that was over here talking to me.
Okay. All right. So we're kind of all over the place. We're up in Topsom, we're Wyndham, we're Scarborough, we're Gardner. I think I've covered them all. Okay. So after this class, everyone can have access to the link so that they can listen to the first 20 minutes or even listen to it again. As I was telling first few ladies who were on, I need to add everyone to the roster. So I will be doing that after class so you all have access to Evolve. Again, the icon on Evolve is going to look very similar to the cover of your book. You will have the medical assistant textbook as well as the medical assistant study guide. And then you will have the electronic health record for the physician's office with SIM charts. As I mentioned earlier, the electronic health record book is one that will be set aside for at least the next 10 weeks. That's not something we're going to tackle until that time. You have all received your course syllabus in a welcome email. If you, for some reason, have lost it or deleted it by accident, just send me another email and I'll be happy to send you another one. Please, if you haven't read it, or even if you did when you first got it, read it. I will tell you, though, that you've already been successful because you have all joined me using Jabber. That is probably the biggest hurdle to overcome in the first few weeks. So give yourself a big round of applause because you really did a great job getting connected tonight. Come on, everyone. Not just me. Okay, good job. That's important. We may vary from the course syllabus slightly, and I say slightly because these are 2 new books. So even though I have had a chance to review them, that doesn't mean that I have had a chance to work the course the same way you have worked the course. So as you are doing the work, I will be doing the work. I don't just hand you the book and say, here you go. I also work the course. So on top of teaching CMA and billing and coding, as you know, I work my business. So I will run into some of the same issues that you may, and I may not, because each one of us learns differently. Even though this is the 8th edition. All right, here we go, Noble. And who's at Noble? Who do we have at Noble? Hello? Who's joining us from Noble?
They're shy.
Probably can't hear you. Oh, here we go.
Oh gosh, dental assisting is a Noble. You shouldn't be on my class, right? I am on CMA. I'm teaching CMA tonight. So dental assisting is with someone else. All right, so Heather, can you speak?
She's got
Okay.
It's going.
You know, we just have to laugh about it, honestly. In this day and age, technology, as much as we would love for it to be perfect, it's not.
Yeah.
And we've had a few sessions to still work out most of the kinks, but when you start a new session, you're still trying to work them out. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn to chapter 1 in our CMA book. And if you don't have it, just get out a pad of paper and we'll take some notes. And if you want, I can even send you note pages afterwards from the PowerPoint presentation that I use, so that can just refresh your memory about what I was talking about. All right. All right, so page 2 in your textbook. Chapter 1 is really all about becoming a successful student. So, Ange, share with us how you learned. You said you did biology, right?
Yes.
So, how did you learn best when you were taking your biology course?
I'm sorry.
How did you learn best? What worked best for you when you were studying your biology course?
Yeah. I think to be a to by that time I was time management. Like I really like if there's an exam coming, I need to concentrate or tell my parents that not to disturb me or my friends. I'm not gonna go for a party or something. I have to telling them that I have to focus this because I have finals coming like that. So I think that's it. And I just need to read every day because biology is a big thing. So after our class and before I go to sleep, I have to scan my notes or read something about what happened or what the teacher what I've learned on that day. So I think that's my routine when I was studying biology.
Okay.
Yeah, I take notes like that, and I do review always. So I think that's it.
Okay. Can all of you see that little picture that just showed up in the video?
Yes.
Is it clear
Yes.
or is it really
Yes.
small?
Yes.
It's small.
Is that better? All right. Well, this is what your kins will look like on Evolve. And just to give you an idea, over here on the left, don't worry about making out the words right now. Over here on the left, of the screen when you log into Evolve, you're going to see the course home and the course content.
Is it already in the Evolve? Like,
It's going to be on Evolve after class.
okay, after class. Okay.
Yeah. All right, did that make it bigger?
A little bit.
A little bit.
There you go.
There.
Okay. Don't ask me what I did. I have no idea.
Better.
Okay. So you're going to see over here on the left, you have course home. And nice. Okay. And then you're going to have content home. And you'll see resources. And underneath the resources, you'll see student resources. And when you click on the student resources, it gives you all the chapters. So you can click on each chapter and it gives you activities, chapter review activities, how to do missing letters, listing the 4 learning styles. It gives you an answer key to those activities that you just did. And it also has interactive rubrics. So you can click on each one of these and get some more practice. You're really going to go down to sample certification exam and play with it on every chapter, because this will help you get ready for the national exam that we hold at the end of the 16 weeks. If it doesn't open right away, you might have to get the your Flash player updated. And you'll see here that you have the CMAA practice exam, and that's actually what I want you to click on. And that is what you're going to take. And you can do the study mode and you can do the assessment mode. I would say try both. And when you do that, it just lets you go through and answer all the questions. It tells you if you've answered it right or answered it wrong. Now that's for practice. When you're done all the practice and you've done the study guide, if you go down, you'll see over on the left, chapter exams. You will click on the chapter, and if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see chapter 1 starts after chapter 28. It just happens to be that when I created the exams, for whatever reason, it didn't put them in order. So just scroll down to the bottom, click on chapter 1, and you'll be able to begin chapter 1 exam. These are all timed. So if you happen to do well and you want to retake it over, you just send me an email that says, Doreen, I really didn't do too well. I'd like to try that one over again. Can you send it to me? That shouldn't be a problem, okay?
Doreen, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
Are they going to be, okay, like for the other class that I have, they average it out, like say you took it twice, or does that do the same thing for yours?
No, I have it only set up to take it once.
Okay.
Okay? Because you have so much practice within the chapter that you're already spending, 5 to 10 hours studying, and you're spending time on Evolve. I tried to make it so that by the time you get to the exam, you're kind of done. But if you feel that you want to take it again, absolutely just send me a message and I'll do it. I'll reset it if at all possible. Okay? But take advantage of the practice and within the chapter on Evolve. Okay? All right. All right, I'm trying to stop my shared presentation here. There we go. That didn't work. All right, is that little window gone or no?
No.
No. Okay. So becoming a successful student. In the first two chapters, your vocabulary is not going to be critical when it comes to the national exam. But as you get through the rest of the book, what I'm going to say to you is read the vocabulary. Because as we get into doing stuff later on and we do the critical thinking exercises, some of those vocabularies might come into play. No, you don't have to memorize them, just read them so that when I call on you, you're going to be able to pull it out of your file cabinet in your brain, okay? So learning style is definitely something that we all have in common, in the sense that we all have a different learning style. So some of us might be hands-on, and some of us might be very visual, and some of us might be auditory. So like Diane sitting there with her headphones in, and I know that's to mute out the noise in the background, but for some people, walking around with headphones while they're doing something else actually might enhance their learning style. You've heard or seen kids that are studying and they have the music going. That actually has been proven to be a good learning behavior, because some people do learn better when there's music playing in the background for whatever reason. So just examine, what I'm saying is examine how you learn. You know, for those of us who have just started back in school, you might find that what used to work for you in high school doesn't work for you anymore. So you want to try and do something different. So just pay attention to that. You might have to find a quieter place. You might have to find a space in your house that truly is just yours, okay? All right. Being a medical assistant, there's a lot of problem solving going on. So let's turn to page 3 in our textbook. There's critical thinking application 1-2. Consider the 2 ways to perceive new material. Are you a concrete perceiver who ties the information to a personal experience, or are you an abstract perceiver who likes to analyze or reflect on the meaning of the material? Choose the type you think most accurately describes your method of investigating new information. So, what would be a concrete perceiver? Concrete perceiver. They learn information through direct experiences of acting, sensing, or feeling the new material. All right. A reflective, what's the other one? Abstract perceiver.
concrete.
Okay, so abstract, perceiver, people who analyze, observe, and reflect. So Diane, what kind of learning style do you think you have?
I'm not really sure.
Okay. How about you, Jackie?
I'm a personal experience.
Okay, so a concrete.
Yes.
Okay. How about you, Ange?
I think important. Yeah, concrete scan and concrete.
Okay, how about you, Michelene?
Abstract.
And am I pronouncing that right, Michelene?
You are, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And Liz, what about you?
I would say I'm definitely abstract.
Okay. And Brittany?
I'm definitely concrete.
I'd have to say I'm a little bit of both. It depends on the situation.
Yeah,
And I think you're going to find that as a CMA, it might depend more on the situation. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. But you will find that you lean more towards one than the other. Okay? So over the next week or so, try to pay attention to which one you lean more towards. Okay? The next topic we're going to talk about is over on page 4. Time management. Okay? So you have all decided this is the course you want to take. This is your new career path. I bet when you decided that, did you take into consideration how organized you might have to be, or the time that might be involved to complete the exercises? So with this course, it's going to be 16 weeks, and I know that you're going to be taking terminology with it too, term and A&P, right? So you've got 2 courses. You probably have family, job, kids, pets. You're going to have to consider time management if you haven't already. I am a calendar person, a day planner, calendar, your smartphone, whatever works for you, okay? Identify how you need to accomplish your work and try to be organized. Don't procrastinate. Also, at the same time, remember you. You need to make sure that you are taken care of as well when you are learning this material. What I mean by that is don't spend so much time studying that you forget about taking the time to go get groceries. And I don't mean that you actually forget about it. It's just that, believe it or not, getting away to go get the groceries is a good thing because it pulls you away from the studying so that you can clear your brain and come back to it fresh. Does that all make sense to everyone? Okay.
Yes.
So problem solving. We're going to be doing some problem solving. Just like we do in our everyday life, we're going to be dealing with some problem solving. We want to identify the central issue. So problem solving is over on page 5. Conflict management, we want to resolve stuff in private, right? How would you deal with that in the warehouse, Diane? Conflict management, how did you deal with stuff in the warehouse?
If I had if I had an issue with one of my employees, then I would pull them aside and speak to them in private.
Okay. So you definitely deal with conflict management in private as much as possible. And you want to know what happened, what were the circumstances, how does it make the person feel, how can you brainstorm to make things work better or differently, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you do when an irate customer comes through Dunkin' Donuts and you just gave them the wrong order?
You apologize and do what you can to correct the situation.
Because the customer is always right, correct?
Yeah.
Even when you're wrong.
That's right. You got it. So, turn the page over to page 6. Non-assertive and aggressive behaviors and language. So, for those of you who don't have your book, what I mean by that is non-assertive behaviors. Non-assertive behaviors are people who keep eyes downcast, or they shift their weight when they're talking. They have slumped posture, or they wring their hands. They're whining, or they use a hesitant tone of voice. They might use ambiguous language. So we want to learn how to respond assertively in a potentially challenging situation. What would be the best way to do that, Micheline? What do you think?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
What would be the best way to handle, to respond assertively in a potentially challenging situation?
To begin your sentence with I and tell them how you feel. Have direct eye contact with them to let them know that you're speaking directly to them and would like them to listen.
Right. I am very hurt when you act like, or when you did that, it made me feel perfect. Excellent. Some aggressive behaviors are when people lean forward and they point their finger when you're talking, they raise their voice, they sound arrogant, they use "you'd better," if you don't watch out, do it or else, that type of stuff. So when we have people with aggressive behaviors and they're acting assertively, we want to try to deflect that. What would be the best way to deflect that? Brittany, what do you think? Anyone?
I think if you just let them know that they're doing something wrong. Most people know they're doing something wrong, but maybe it's for attention. Just say, I understand your frustration, but this is not the time to do it. Or, this is not the time to, if you want to talk about it later, we can talk about it.
Excellent. Perfect. So some of the things that we want to do when we're in this situations is, as Jackie just said, be honest with ourselves and with others. That would be another type of thing. And ask, how do you feel about the situation? Speak clearly, be specific, and use the I messages. So for study skills on page 7 in our textbook, they talk about some tips or tricks for becoming a successful student. So honestly, we've all gotten this far in life because we have found the tips and tricks that work for us. And so I would encourage you all, when I send out a group email, and because you can see each other now on our video conference, is to kind of just reach out to one another and, you know, be able to ask about the homework assignment or share tips and tricks with one another about what might work for you in certain situations in your studying or the assignments that we're doing. Okay. I know that for Jackie, you're probably the only one going to Topsom. Actually, yeah. Mickley, there's supposed to be another lady there. She's not there this week. So you're all spread out. So I'm going to encourage you all to maybe reach out to one another and just say, hey, hi, how are you? How'd you do on this homework this week? You know, just put yourself out there. We might not be like that, but try it, okay? Because you're going into a field, honestly, as a CMA, as a medical assistant, and you're going to be out there. So you're going to be shaking hands, or you're going to be talking on the phone to people. You're going to be meeting people for the first time. You're going to be working with people really more on the front line. So, and a lot of times you might even respond in email to some of the people who are coming through your door, okay? So make sure you get the big picture of what it is you're tackling to learn. Skim your pages before you actually start reading, okay? To kind of get the gist of what we're going to be covering. And create some type of an association. So first thing we learned was who was a concrete perceiver and who was the analytical perceiver. So even if you don't read before the next class, the next 2 chapters, like it says on the syllabus, let me just check here. I'll do that quite often. We'll check the syllabus because I don't remember. Honestly, I really don't. But I do know that every week we're doing 2 chapters a week. So for next week, even if you don't read chapter 3 and 4, at least look at the titles. Look at the critical thinking applications, because those are the things that we're going to be reviewing and talking about and interacting about, because this class is interactive, okay? And as long as you have minimal background noise, you can leave your mics open, okay? And I appreciate, Diane, that you are at home and you do have your earphones in, so thank you very much. What else? Note-taking strategies, okay? For some of you, it might be easier to highlight in your book. Now, your books are yours, so you can write in them all you want. You can highlight in them all you want. You know, put stickies all throughout, whatever works for you. Just make sure you're organized. When it comes to the national exam, I will have a study guide for you separate from this. And when I said earlier about doing all the online activities and do the CMAA exam online, that is all practice, and that is all going to get you ready for the national exam. The critical thinking applications that are throughout this book will help you get ready for the exam, because really being a CMA is a lot of critical thinking. Yes, we need to know about the computers that we're using and the software package that we're using, but we have to be able to think on our feet. And we do that in everyday life. We do it with our kids. We do it with our spouses or our significant others or our co-workers. We are constantly thinking on our feet, okay? All right, on page 8, test taking strategies. So, test taking strategies. What do you think would be one of the top things that you would do, Diane, when you're getting ready to take a test? What are you going to do? What do you do?
I try to take my test in the morning when I'm fresh and not tired, and I've studied the day before really hard for it.
Okay. So because all of this is online and it's on Evolve, you do have your books available. You can use your books. Okay, but remember, it's timed. So it's about knowing where to find the information in your book. Okay. One thing about the national exam is that it will be multiple choice. Okay. And the CMAA practice exam in each chapter on Evolve will be most like the national exam. Okay. And everything on Evolve relates to the different certifications that are required for the national exam. So don't think of Evolve as just, another playtime. It really isn't playtime. It's a little more fun to learn this way than if you're sitting there reading all the time. But honestly, take advantage of everything that is under your chapter to do, whether it's review activities or the practice exam, because it really is helpful. All right, Micheline, what is one thing you do to prepare for a test?
Have all my notes and everything organized that I want to study and review.
Okay. How about you, Liz?
I like to have my notes organized, like she said, and I like to know that I'm well rested beforehand and ready to go.
Perfect. All right. So, one of the things about critical thinking, this is on page 9. So, our ability to process information and arrive at a reasonable conclusion is called critical thinking. It is the process of critical thinking. So, we sort out the conflicting information. We weigh our knowledge about the information. We ignore or we let go of our personal biases, and we decide on a reasonable belief or action. Critical thinking is usually an active search for the truth. So this is the best way that I can give you an example, and you can probably all relate to it at some point. I have 2 daughters, and when they were little, my oldest daughter cut my youngest daughter's hair with a pair of paper scissors. And I caught them. I caught them in the room. No, I didn't catch her in the act. But it was quite obvious that she had this big chunk of hair missing. And I looked at them both and I said, "What did you do?" "I didn't do anything, Mom." So do you think in that instance, I had to become a critical thinker? Yes. I had to somehow get to the truth, right? In order to do that, I had to use those 4 things. That's what we're doing in the CMA world. And that's what we do in our life, as I just mentioned earlier. So I did get down to it. The oldest one finally admitted to doing it. The youngest one never said she did it, which I thought was kind of funny. Because you know how siblings can be. They always like to get the other one in trouble. So another crucial step in critical thinking is evaluating our results of learning. So we want to reflect on the key to critical thinking, and that is, how did I learn what I learned? And what does it mean in my life? So to become a certified medical administrative assistant, your critical thinking skills are important. And if you think about it, as I have mentioned, they're important in our life. It just means that is in your career path as a CMA student, those critical thinking skills are even more important. One thing I forgot to mention at the beginning is that I don't really take a break. I can if you want. We can do it probably about midway, so probably like 7:15 or so, and usually what I do then is I just give you about 5 or 10 minutes to get up, go to use the bathroom. You can bring snacks with you or dinner, I don't care, as long as it's quiet. And if you need to, just get up and go use the facilities or whatever, go do that. What is the consensus? Would everyone like to try and take a quick break at 7:15? Or just
No.
do it as you want?
No break.
And
Yes.
break or no break?
No, I think I'm good with or without.
Okay. Jackie?
With or without, that's fine.
Diane?
I'm fine
Liz?
with a.
No break is fine for me.
Brittany?
No, that's fine. I've been going in and out anyway.
Okay. Really, it doesn't bother me if you have to get up and take a quick break, okay? Get up, use the facilities, bring a drink, bring your snack, bring your dinner, whatever it is. I can tell you that sometimes we will go the 3 hours, and sometimes we won't. But that doesn't mean you have less homework. So let's go on to the next chapter, which is chapter 2. And chapter 2 is all about the healthcare industry. And this gives us a little bit about the history of medicine and the medical language and mythology. Okay, Diane.
Yes.
The history of medicine. So today's medical profession, on page 13, whoever has a book. Medical language and mythology. Today's medical profession, we use words with origins that stem from the romance and fantasy of classical and ancient languages. The human head, it rests on the first cervical vertebrae, which is called the atlas. Atlas was also the famous Greek titan who was condemned by Zeus to bear the heavens on his shoulders. Okay, then we have Achilles. Achilles' mother held him by the heel as she dipped him into the river Styx so that he would become invulnerable. You know, when we heard those myths as a child, little did we relate them to, you know, healthcare, right? Mm-hmm. So the son of Apollo was revered as the god of medicine. I'm not even going to try to say his name because every time I mess it up. The staff, though, is what is used today as the caduceus for the medical world. They actually changed it a little bit. It was a snake around a stick, and as you can see, for the caduceus on page 13, It is actually two snakes that are wrapped around the stick, and at the top you have the wings. This is, as I said, the symbol for the medical profession. Turn to page 14. So, medicine in ancient times, there were drugs and surgery and other treatments that date back to 500 or 5000 BC. And Moses was the first advocate of the preventative medicine and public health officer. He was actually recognized the concept of contamination. Hippocrates, who was Hippocrates, Liz? Do you remember?
No, I don't.
Hippocrates was the father of medicine. He is the one who wrote the Hippocratic Oath. And he gave medicine a scientific basis. It took the mysticism out of medicine. Galen, he was considered the prince of physicians. One moment, please. Down at the bottom of page 14, he was considered the prince of physicians. He wrote over 500 treatises on medicine. We have critical thinking application 2-1. So, Mr. Santos, he asks his class to identify which of the individuals involved in early medicine have had the greatest impact on modern health care. Whom would you choose and why? So, Mickalene, who might you choose
Galen.
and why?
He failed at it, but I would want to keep on going to have a better understanding and come up with definitive answers and treatments.
Perfect. So for next class, in addition to work in the study guide, what I would like each one of you to do is to Google someone who made a difference in healthcare, but they cannot be in the chapter. You cannot pick someone who's already in the chapter. So it can be someone of current or it can be someone in history, but it can't be someone from the book, okay? And I want you to Google someone who made a difference in healthcare, someone that speaks to you, that means something to you, and just tell us about them next week when we come back. I have to write this down so I remember.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, what did you say? I missed something. You said that you go Google the current what? What?
Go to Google and just Google someone who made a difference in healthcare. And it can be in, today's current events, or it can be someone from history. It just cannot be someone who is already in the chapter. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So, let's move on to early development of medical education. Early development of medical education on page 14. At this point in time, we're talking about back in the 1890s, 1662, okay? Early development of medical education, there was very little knowledge that was exchanged before a printing press. The academies and the societies that began in the 17th century, one of those would be the Royal Society of London, and that was formed in 1662, right there. John Hopkins, that was a medical University School of Medicine in Baltimore, Maryland. That was established in 1890s. At that time, the school only admitted college graduates with at least 1 year of training. They were considered, the clinical education at John Hopkins was considered superior because of who the school partnered with. Some of your early medical pioneers down at the bottom of page 14 on the right-hand column. Your early medical pioneers, Andreas Vesalius, he was a Belgian anatomist known as the father of modern anatomy. He also published a book which was about the structure of the human body. We also have some others like Gabriel Fallopius, William Harvey, Anton van Leeuwenhoek. He was a Dutch linen draper and haberdasher. He ground more than 400 lenses during his lifetime, and some of which were no larger than a pinhead. And in that grinding process, Leeuwenhoek learned how to use a simple biconvex lens to magnify the minute world of organisms and structures. Will any of these pioneers be on your national exam? No, they will not. They may be on your evolve exam, but that's it, okay? But I found that the healthcare industry chapter was great for a history review to let us know where we came from, how we got to where we are today if we don't know about it. And then we have Marcello Malpighi. He was born near Bologna, Italy, and he attended the University of Bologna, where he earned his doctorate for both medicine and philosophy. He was actually the first histologist. And who can tell me what is a histologist?
It's the study of the tissue.
Yes.
Is it right?
Excellent. Some of the medical advances in the 18th and 19th centuries over on page 15. We have John Hunter. He was the founder of scientific surgery. We have Edward Jenner, who developed the smallpox vaccine. And then we have Leopold Auenberger, who developed the use of percussion in diagnosis. And then Rene Laennec, he developed, where is it? He developed the stethoscope. Turn the page if you have your book. Then we have Louis Pasteur. He was the Frenchman who did brilliant work as a chemist. He studied bacteriology. He was given the title the father of bacteriology, and his adventures included studying the difficulties involved in the fermentation of wine. All right. Joseph Lister, over on the right-hand page, right-hand column, Joseph Lister, page 16. What What was Joseph Lister? Can you tell me, Micheline?
He was a surgeon that understood the similarity between infections and was learning the difference between, I guess, a regular infection and like gangrene or something.
Right. He developed antiseptic methods.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And for Robert Koch, he introduced many lab tools. The culture plate method was one, and he discovered the cause of cholera. He also isolated the tuberculous. Robert Ehrlich. Robert Ehrlich. Let me find. All right.
Paul Ehrlich?
I don't see that.
Paul Ehrlich?
Paul Ehrlich, right underneath the paragraph about Robert Koch. Paul Ehrlich, he pioneered the fields of bacteriology, immunology, and chemotherapy. Crawford Williamson Long down at the bottom. He was the first one to use an anesthetic agent. William Conrad Roentgen. He was from Germany, and he discovered the X-ray in 1895. Okay, then we have 19th century women in medicine.
Nightingale.
All right. The first one we have is Florence Nightingale. Florence Nightingale was best known for what? Who can tell me that? Brittany?
Who? Sorry.
Florence Nightingale.
Honestly, I don't remember.
Founder of nursing.
Oh, yes.
Yes. She was of noble birth. She also founded the Nightingale School and Home for Nurses. Then we have Clara Barton over on page 17 on the right-hand column. She was an American who began nursing early on in her life. When she was 11 years old, her brother fell from the roof of the barn, and she nursed him back to health over a 2-year period. She was also a battlefield nurse and philanthropist, and she was the founder of the American Red Cross. We also have Elizabeth Blackwell. She was the first woman in the United States to receive the Doctorate of Medicine degree from the medical school. We also have Lillian Wald, social worker and nurse. She made great contributions to medical care when she founded the Henry Street Settlement in New York City. Then we have Margaret Sanger. She was trained as a nurse in the White Plains Hospital. She also became the American leader of the birth control movement. Turn the page. Modern milestones in medicine. Walter Reed. Walter Reed was a U.S. Army pathologist and bacteriologist who proved that yellow fever was transmitted by the bite of a mosquito. Cardiologist Helen Taussig and surgeon Alfred Blaylock, they explored the health issues of children who were born with cyanosis, resulting from a malformed heart. Jonas Edward Salk and Albert Sabine, they almost eradicated poliomyelitis, which was once a killer and crippler of thousands in the States. Salk injectable vaccine was developed in 1952, And after the wide-scale testing in 1954, it was distributed nationally, greatly reducing the incidence of the disease. Then we have Werner Forssmann. He was a cardiac technique. He originated a cardiac technique called catheterization. Edward Carl Wood pioneered work developing and commercializing the technique of IVF. And the list goes on, as you can see. So, how do you think in the critical thinking application, after hearing about some of these people, these milestones and these people, how do you think a medical assistant can make a contribution to medicine? Liz?
By discovering or by using a new technique to do something that someone is already doing?
Yes.
I'm not sure what you're...
Well, when you go into a doctor's office, who's one of the first people you see?
The CMA.
Right. And so how do you think they're making their contribution to medicine?
I'm not sure.
Okay, that's all right. What do you think, Jackie?
I think they treat them with respect and try to help them as fast and as best as you can, and always put them first. Like you said, the customer's always right. Well, kind of the patient's always right. So their needs come first and make them feel like they come first.
Yeah. What do you think, Diane?
Not quite sure on that. I kind of agree with what she just said.
Okay, Micheline?
I agree with what Jackie said, and also making them feel comfortable while they're waiting. Trying to make them be at ease when they do come into the office and check in.
Okay, Brittany?
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. I mean, can't really think of anything else that I can think of anyway.
That's fine. How about you, Ange?
I think contribution to medicine. I think because you are in front of the people and you know that they are, everything. I mean, they're or talking patient, and you don't know that they are sick, very sick. I think to contribute to be contributing them like to have a proper hygiene like that. For me, I mean, I don't know, I'm not sure, but make sure that. Okay, go ahead.
You are all on the right track.
Yeah.
It's not a trick question. It is all about you chose this career path, okay? All of you chose this career path to make some type of a contribution to the world, to the field. So it is as simple as you showing up for work every day and greeting that patient with a smile, whether it's on the phone or in person. How many times do you walk past or by someone and they walk with their head down and you don't see their face? Or you have someone who walks, past you and smiles and says, "Good day." Which one makes you feel better? That is part of our contribution as a medical assistant. It is as simple as that. And yes, we can do more by, figuring out the quickest and easiest way to save money or save paper when we have areas within the office. But our first and foremost contribution that we're making as a medical assistant is just being able to ease that patient's frustration, their pain, or sometimes we're the only person that they have seen in the whole week or talked to in a whole week. So that's how simple our contribution can be as a CMA. Okay? All right. I know, it sounded like a trick question, right?
It's a trick
Yeah.
question.
It did.
I was like,
Okay. All right. Let's turn the page to page 20. The National View of Healthcare. National View of Healthcare. Well, the first one that comes to mind underneath the National View of Healthcare is WHO. And it's not as in the group WHO. It is the World Health Organization. Yes, I'm dating myself. Okay. WHO was founded in 1948. It is a specialized agency of the United Nations that its purpose is to provide the worldwide guidance in the field of health, to set global standards for health, to cooperate with governments in strengthening national health programs, to develop and transfer appropriate health technology, information, and standards. One of the greatest accomplishments of this agency was the eradication of smallpox. And there's other diseases and so on and so forth. Then we have the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, also known as DHHS. This is the principal U.S. agency to provide essential human services and protects the health of Americans. There's more than 300 programs that involve medical and social science research, immunization services, financial service assistance for low-income families, child support enforcement services, improvement of infant and maternal health, child and elder abuse prevention services, and assistance programs for your elderly Americans. Then we have the U.S. Army Medical Research Institute of Infectious Diseases. This is the place where they conduct research programs in the national defense and infectious diseases. They work extensively with WHO and the CDC. And they also control an international reference lab. The CDC over on page 21 is the headquarters for the CDC, the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, is in Atlanta, Georgia. It is the principal U.S. federal agency concerned with health and safety of people. It also conducts research into the origin and occurrence of diseases. It develops immunization services and trains healthcare workers. Its mission for National Institutes of Health over on page 21 on the right-hand column, the NIH. It actually began as a one-room laboratory in the Marine Hospital on New York Staten Island. It supports and conducts biomedical research into the causes of diseases, and it furnishes biomedical information to healthcare professionals. Types of healthcare facilities. We have hospitals, and within those hospitals we have acute, we have subacute, and we have specialty, and we have teaching. So you might have a hospital that is nothing to do but cancer, or trauma and injury. Okay, you have private and nonprofit. You also have hospital system where they have affiliated facilities that share common goals. Then we have hospital departments, and under those hospital departments, they are organized so that we are supposed to receive efficient patient care. I'm on page 22, the left-hand column about midway down. Hospitals have various departments that are organized to provide efficient patient care. So we have nursing, we have lab, we have radiology, dietary, surgery, medical records, administration. Then over on the right-hand column, we have peer review organizations and accreditation. The peer review organizations, this is what ensures physicians maintain optimum fitness standards. Credentialing is a verification before assignment to help maintain the highest standards. Then accreditation is the highest recognition of care. Over on page 23, we have a critical thinking application. How might Mr. Santos students find out whether a physician has staff privileges at a certain hospital? Micheline, how do you think we would find out if a physician has staff privileges at a hospital?
You can contact the hospital or go online.
Absolutely. And if we have insurance, we should be able to look in our handbook and see who they're affiliated with.
Don't some of them insurance companies rate their doctors? Like, I can just use my husband, he works at Bath, he has Cigna. They have an option that you can rate from the patient standards what your doctor is, and if they're, in reason for price-wise and things like that. For Cigna, they use it that way.
Yeah, a lot of payers do that. Yes, exactly. We have ambulatory care. Ambulatory care, it offers a wide range of services for people who walk in. Then we also have other healthcare facilities. We have hospice. We have diagnostic laboratories. On page 24, we have types of medical practice. We have the sole proprietorship. We have partnership and corporation. All of these different groups decide how they're going to set themselves up. Doctors of medicine, healthcare professional, over on page 25. So the title doctor, all right, medical doctors, MDs, they are considered allopathic, okay? And allopathic physicians are the most widely recognized type of physician. These are the ones who write prescriptions and perform surgery. They diagnose the illness and disease, and they also specialize in certain fields. And when they do that, it takes 3 to 6 years. They also must be licensed, and they must maintain that license. You have the doctors of osteopathy, which is a DO. They can actually perform manipulative therapy and also write prescriptions. They are believed to be more holistic in their approach with medicine. Osteopath medicine also promotes the innate ability for the body to heal itself. It is very similar to that of doctors of chiropractic. The difference is that doctors of chiropractic treat more musculoskeletal conditions, and they do not write prescriptions because chiropractors believe that the body does have an innate ability to heal itself. And so through care of chiropractic adjustments, the body can help to heal what's going on. So they do not prescribe medication. They do not have that ability. Then you have hospitalists, which are medical care of hospitalized patients, and they are employed by the healthcare facilities. They help promote a good quality of life, and they have a set number of weekly hours, and they work as salaried. On page 26 and 27, you'll see examples of medical specialties that are recognized by the American Board of Medical Specialties. It starts out with allergy and immunology and goes all the way over to urologists. We have dentists. There are actually two types of dentists. Doctors of dental medicine and doctors of dental surgery. So one treats and prevents teeth and gum issues, the other one performs oral surgery and writes prescriptions. Then we have optometrists and podiatrists. The optometrists, they test your visual acuity and they treat the vision defects, whereas your podiatrists, they care for your feet. And guess what? Your feet are the foundation of your body. So if you're having trouble with your feet, it's kind of like a domino effect. You have things that start going out of whack if your feet are not working and functioning properly. Other doctorates are people who have doctorates in their field of expertise. You might have a professor who is in a related discipline. And naturopathic physicians actually can be licensed in 15 states. Usually your naturopaths are a cash-based practice. Not many insurances cover naturopathic medicine or treatment. Then you have your nurses. You have your registered nurses. They can be hospital managers as well as direct patient care, provide care plans. And most of them actually have a specialty. You also have practical and vocational nurses. These offer bedside care and they assist with day-to-day personal care that are required usually by inpatients. Then you have nurse practitioners who provide basic patient care services, including diagnosing and prescribing medications for some of the common illnesses. Your nurse anesthetists, they administer the anesthetics and practice in different settings. They also might work in the metropolitan and rural communities. Some of the other healthcare professionals might contribute to a patient's care and recovery. Some work in a hospital setting, others perform their duties in other types of medical facilities or in the patient home. You might have a healthcare career directory to look up and see all of the varied healthcare professionals that help provide care to patients. You're going to see throughout all of these chapters, we always have patient education and legal and ethical issues. So you want to understand medical history. You want to understand how the pioneers broke laws in the name of advancement, serving patients above the call of duty and always putting the patient first. When it comes to patient education, one of the areas that are big in any office that you go to is patients who don't understand their bills after a hospital stay or an office visit. Okay, the patient will often call and with questions, so it's up to us as a medical assistant to be able to help answer those questions. So you want to become familiar with your community resources, all right? If we have a smartphone, okay, and we're out and about, we might use the search feature to help us find a location or a doctor or a restaurant. Same thing for CMA. Always have a list of resources available for the patient. And we'll talk more about it as we get into the book, and I will mention it again, but your 911 number, the fire department, the Department of Health and Human Services, taxi services, food pantry. I know that these are all part of other related sources, but if you're asked a question, it probably wouldn't hurt to be able to have the information on hand for that patient. On page 29, you'll see that there are other health occupations, art therapists, athletic trainer, audiologists, blindness and visual impairment professionals, blood bank, diagnostic cardiovascular sonographer, dance therapist, dental assistant, dietitian, emergency medical tech, a genetics counselor, a kinesiotherapist. And the list goes on for a couple pages, so you can read through those if you haven't already. Every chapter starts with a scenario and ends with a scenario. I would suggest that you read those, just so you have an idea when we start the chapter and we go through the critical thinking application, that we have the background, okay? Do I have any questions to this point, people?
I don't think so.
Okay. Liz, questions?
No.
Brittany? Okay.
I'm good.
All right. So, homework. If you look at your syllabus, you are to have read chapters 1 and 2. And as you can see, there are not any in-chapter exercises, so let's pull out the study guide. And for chapters 1 and 2, the study guide really, there's not a lot. So I'm going to have you do all of chapter 1 and all of chapter 2 in the study guide. And I can email you the answers. If you just want to shoot me off a quick email, I'll send you back the answers. Okay, and you can correct them on your own. If we have time every week to go through some of the study guide, I will, but the study guide is for practice. And there will be times that I call on you for the work in the study guide. So it's important that you try to do as much as you can. On Evolve, I showed you earlier in the presentation. Go underneath each chapter, look at the chapter review activities, and do some of the exercises, the practice exercises, and then underneath the chapter exams is where you will find the chapter 1 exam. When you are done the chapter 1 exam, it will be important for you, and I can't stress this enough, it will be important for you to write the answers on your assignment checkoff sheet. Again, once you take your chapter exam on Evolve, it will be important for you to record your score on the checkoff sheet. I don't care if you do it in pencil, because if you email me and say, can I retake it, I want you to at least have written down the score. Why do I tell you this? Because we had a change this last July with Evolve. And I can't tell you the number of students who did not write down their scores. When we had that change in Evolve, some of the scores were lost. So students ended up having to redo some of the exams anyway, which was fine because some of them wanted to retake them. But please write down your scores. The last thing I'm going to mention about Evolve, and this is probably the most important of all. If you haven't found out already, or if you have, that's fine. Evolve can be picky with answers. It's more so in my coding, billing and coding class, but it's with all classes. If you put in a comma when you didn't need a comma, or when you put in a space when you didn't need a space, or a hyphen, or you didn't type in the exact wording, because there are some fill in the blanks. If you got it wrong and after it submits the feedback and you found that you got it right, just send me an email that says, Doreen, I took chapter 1 exam. It marked me wrong on number blah, blah, blah. Please review it. I will be happy to do so. Okay? I will tell you though, I won't get to correcting any exams until the weekends because of my work schedule. I will get back to your emails usually within 24 hours. Excuse me just a minute. And if I don't, if I've missed something, send me a gentle reminder that says, Doreen, I don't know if you saw this email that I sent you on. Can you please take a look at it? I get over 100 emails a day. So sometimes they do get lost in translation, okay? So please email me questions you have throughout the week if you have them. If you need help with Evolve, getting around Evolve, I'll be happy to set up a one-on-one if you need it. But we will meet here every Wednesday at 5:30. Jabber will call you at 5:25, so make sure you're logged in before that time. If you need assistance getting connected, you need to contact Network Maine. That phone number, I believe, is in your packet. Let me double check. 561-3587. So the Network Maine number is 561-3587. I know that in the course syllabus it says 15 minutes prior to class, but I'm not going to be able to make it to class 15 minutes before, and if I do, it will be sheer luck because I'm actually coming from an office to log on. So you will be catching me just getting here as I start class. So just try to be logged into logged into Jabber about 5:20 so that at 5:25 it can call all of you.
Doreen, if that lady doesn't come here next week, would it be okay if I get on Jabber so that way we don't have to?
That'll be fine.
If she doesn't come, I mean.
Yeah. I know that she was sick tonight.
Okay.
So I did get an email earlier that said she was going to be sick, or she is sick. Yeah. Have I missed anything, ladies, that you can think of?
I do have one question though, Doreen.
Sure.
Rather than going to Edward Little, can I just continue on Jabber at home?
Yep. Let me just double check, make sure no one else is supposed to be there because you can, but there is going to be another student that goes there, so it's up to you.
Oh. Well, if there's going to be another student there, I can go there. That's not a problem. I just didn't want to go there and be by myself. I can do that at home.
Right. I know that the two students that aren't on tonight either couldn't make it or were sick. So both Topsom and Edward Little, those are the two places. There's two of you.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. And then Wyndham, I think, is supposed to be another one too. There's supposed to be two.
All right.
So as you can see, it's only 7:25.
Nice.
We're not going to go to 8:30. As I said, we might go to 8:30 more often than not. The first class, as I said, is really, we're working out the bugs, see who got connected, who didn't get connected. give you a foundation of where things are going, how we're going to run the class. Read first, watch the lectures, and do the stuff on Evolve. Okay, come to class with questions. We're going to do the critical thinking applications. I like to make this as interactive as possible. I think we learn more that way. If for some reason you don't want me to call on you, just send me a nice email that says, you know what, Doreen, I really don't like to participate. I'm shy. I'll let it go for a little while till you get your nerve up and you can participate, but you just joined the real world of CMA, and you're not going to be able to sit in the background and hide when you're into the workforce. So I'll nudge you into it gently, okay? So that's it for this week, ladies. I appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to join me, and I look forward to the next 15 weeks with all of you.
Thank you.
So have a
Thank
great
you.
week.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
All right. Take care.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
There you go. Okay, here already. Oh, thank you. I'm here. Oh, you're done? Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, all right. So, Doreen, just I missed something there. So, um, uh, okay. My phone number is, give me hold on. It's 207 370 1791. Yes. Yeah, yeah, because it's the the computer is out of battery, so that's why it was lost. Hmm. Okay. So what about the assignment you just mentioned? Uh, where should I uh where should I find the study guide? At the second book. Second book. Okay. All right. So all right. So I'll study the 2 and 3. By the way, maybe next week I can't what's this? I can't do the class. I mean, be there. Um. So you guys will have a record on it, right? Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, Doreen. Thank you for your time. Okay. Bye. Good day. Bye. Night.
Oh, what's doing?
Sorry.
Is she teaching the class?
Is done already?
I know. So was Doreen was the instructor.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Oh, it's 3.